conversation I'm all the time, but I don't like you. Right? Exactly. That's what's up, bro. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Look at that market at all time high again. That's ridiculous. There's nothing that you can do to stop them. They're gonna go all time high squeeze again. That that close in the QQQ was the most bullish close I have probably ever seen in a while. The last time I saw a close that bullish on a daily and on a weekly close was like 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't seen like for the long side, I haven't seen something that easy money and like on like a pullback down in here, I would have just been buying blindly. If I was on my computer, I would have been buying on this dip. But I was in bed at 6 o'clock. I was taking a nap, I had a headache, and I don't trade Asia, so I'd rather wait. Longs today were free money, 100%. Like even if you buy right now and like you're not oversized, it's going to squeeze up your higher past the zone. So I'm telling you this right now. Do not short this because that like New York session will be higher. Now like if you long this, like they might pop this here and do something like this, and then do something like this, and like you'll be in this trade till damn 2 o'clock like this in the morning. But they're gonna do some shit. But they're gonna pull some shit like this where they squeeze the shit up your past the zone. I'm trying to tell you, it is a 98% chance that they do it. 99% chance that they do that. Bro, every market every year this month has been bullish. Oh yeah. What did they say? I think they say buy in May or go away or some shit like that. What did they say? They say something about May. Selling May or go away is one of them. Was buying May go away or selling May go away? Something. But I know it ends in May go away. As in like it's a no brainer. That's what I do know. It's best to be on alert. It's the best we be on alert now. All I need is your body next to me. Singing on. Hold on. All I need is all I need is your body next to me. Look at that squeeze past that high, new all time high again. See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? You see them break it out? If you guys, that's why I sent out that pre-market plan at before 6 o'clock, so you could have made money by longing this. See what I'm saying? They were gonna squeeze that. On God. They were 100% going to squeeze that. 100%. Like wasn't even like a debate. Yo, what's up, Alan? It's like not even like a debate. 100% they were gonna squeeze that. Mm. Mm. Hold on, Nika. Something's off. Something's off. Hmm. Something is off. I feel off somehow, somewhere. Mm. feels off. Hmm. Okay. Bullish. Okay. Market want to squeeze into oblivion, it appears. There's nothing to do with this. Um, okay, guys, good evening. Without further ado, we gave everyone enough time in order for them to join, in order for them to catch up. I was in at 29 300. That's a great entry. On a long, and it broke at 593. Huh? And, and broke it at 29 593. 593. What? Oh, you trying to sell it up in a what? What do you mean, Zay? Those numbers don't make sense. And broke it at 593. What do you mean? You said I was in a long at 29,300. You longed to here, and you said and broke it at. I ended the trade at 593. The market's not at 593. You talking about 393? Come on now. Is that what you talking about? Turn and lock in. Yo, I took 29,361. Yeah. I think that's an excellent trade for a breakout too, because you know they was going to pop this high. I don't see any issues with that, clear. Good evening, everybody. Guys, we're getting ready to start the class right now. Guys, without any further ado, there are some things that I want to go over, and I'm going to start posting video sessions, instructional, like just small instructional videos, not the classes, rather the whole classes and and stuff like that. Are always going to be posted inside Discord, but I wanted to start posting some small snippets, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go over those things rather. Okay. Yeah. Where is everybody? It's Mother's Day, clear. It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. So if women are here, even for the women that don't have children or their own families yet, if they're here, that says a lot because they could be out celebrating with their own mothers, and if their mothers aren't here, then they could be celebrating with some mother, their friend's mother or somebody doing something, or just going out and just having a good old girls' night. Today should be a day where you should just enjoy yourself. Why not? Well, we all should enjoy ourselves. And then also to the single fathers, to the men that are out there raising their families and stuff like that, hey, I salute you as well. You know, I salute all of y'all. You know, every single day should be a day of appreciation for those that are around us, right? So we really don't have too much to talk about today, like that's scheduled. But yeah, bro, let me lock in. Wrong number. I know, bro. Come on now. Good job, Zay. Ended my day off early. I don't trade Sunday ever, but I hopped on. I set up, worked on paper trade, so I got on my account. P&L, loans to them money. Good job, Zay. I just seen that. That was honestly a good trade. If I was on my computer, I would have took that. I'm not gonna lie. Zay from Discord. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I forgot. I got some. I got some done now. Hmm. Something feels off about that camera. The camera just feels off somehow. Something off with this video capture card. Something feels off. Hmm. Something feels off. Hmm. Trying to figure something out here. Hold on. Is it me? This looks a little bit better. Hmm. Mm, mm, hmm. Okay. Um, this is what we're gonna do. I want to back test the one, two, three, I believe theory. Um, so good evening. Without further ado, guys, this is something that was off of my camera. I just felt as though something was just off somehow, some way. Just felt it feels like it's not the same image as I remember. But I'll double check up on that tomorrow somehow, some way. I'll double check up on that tomorrow. It's just not the same image that I remember personally. Got a little got a different capture card. I'll double check up on that tomorrow. Hmm. Hmm. Something's off. I'll figure it out later. Okay, guys. One of the things, guys, we're going to start this class now, without further delay and without further confusion. One of the things that I wanted to go over specifically was some of the things that I think that the beginners need to be looking for. Okay. Um, some of the things that I think that the beginners, or if you're trying to just make your job easier as you should with trading, why would you be trying to make your job harder? Unless I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, there are times where I end up making my job a little bit harder than it needs to be as well. But that's just because of my style of trading, and I just don't like buying the all time high. But nevertheless, with beginners, it might be a little bit easier in order for you guys to navigate a time like this. I want to go over uh, what the beginners, what what what's easier right now. Okay. The first thing, that traders need to be looking for, and well, how to navigate this environment. Let me go over this. This is something that's just freestyling off the top of my head. So I didn't necessarily write this question down. So it's not like I'm reading off something. So I'm going off of just my personal intuition and based off of what I feel as though I know to be true. So if you want to write this down, you can. Some of the things that I think that everyone needs to be looking for in regards to navigating this environment is is um is you need to be looking for pullbacks. On pullbacks at all time high, whenever we sweep zones of liquidity, you need to be looking at you need to be looking at scaling into entries. You need to be looking at scaling into entries and then exiting on base hits whenever we sweep upper levels of liquidity or whenever we start to go back into price discovery. That's one of the first things that I would probably say. Like, that's just going to make your job easier. We did not be looking for shorts at all in this environment. Unless you have high conviction and your model specifically states that, you do not marry shorts here. Do not try and pick the top. Do not try and perfectly pick the bottom. That needs to not be what you're trying to do. Okay? You will 150% get roasted doing that. Alrighty? So don't try and grow a damn brain and then try to hold on to a short for an hour or 2 or 3 hours in this environment. That's the first thing. Okay. The second thing that I think that can help guide your entry for your longs is do not long or enter into longs contrary. Do not enter into longs at the top. Do not do that. You will get roasted. So do not enter into longs at the top. That's the second thing. The third thing is do not enter into longs whenever LR presents itself. Like, you need to wait for the LR to be ran. And then the third thing is do not enter into longs whenever you see any trend line support. Don't do that because they're going to snap it and then they're going to stop you out and then they're going to go back to all-time high again. If you can do those things, I honestly think that navigating this environment is probably on the long side is probably going to be, honestly speaking, like, it's probably going to be very beneficial. I'm being honest. Like, you can seriously make some money doing this. Like, all this aside. So, especially for the people that don't think too much and that, stuff like that. So those are the things that I would definitely say. So, how do you navigate this environment? One, you do not buy the top at all time high. Do not do that. The next thing that you do, and I'm going to repeat this again, is you do not long whenever LR presents itself or whenever there's a clear draw on liquidity going against you. You just wait patiently. Don't buy at the top is another thing. Is another bulletin point. And then whenever we pull back a decent amount and we sweep multiple zones of liquidity and there's not anything in the immediate vicinity, you need to be looking for a reason or something to manage your risk off of on the long side, and then so that you can start scaling into a potential long entry with confirmation to then target the liquidity that was just engineered above head on said pullback. And then you need to, be conservative about that as far as that's concerned. In this environment, you do not marry longs and you do not, I'm sorry, let me take it back. You do not marry shorts. I apologize. Like, any short spanning anything more than 30 minutes to an hour is going to be completely roasted. Anybody else telling you any differently, they trust me, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So this is how you navigate all time high. Also, so I'm going to cut that as far as how to navigate it. The next lesson or the next portion of this lesson here is Price discovery. What does price discovery mean? Price discovery means that the market has never been in this position before, so it has no idea how much higher it wants to go, and has no idea when it's getting ready to stop and then dump 1% randomly and then squeeze it to another all-time high. It has zero idea, zero clue, and neither do you. No one knows. So anyone sitting here trying to tell you that they know exactly where the market's getting ready to go, they're lying to you. You need to block those people. I'm being dead serious. So that's very important. It's called price discovery for a reason. Yo, I'm a web developer and day trader. I spent 7 months and made a course. Can I tell you about it? You can shoot me a DM. But and I respect your hustle, Giggles. I respect your hustle. And I respect the fact that you uh, been day trading. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's pretty dope. I mean, we could chop it up, but I'm unsure what how how it would help me personally. Um, but I would, but I still respect it though. How are you? Um, what was I getting ready to say? Lost my train of thought. I have ADD. Oh, shit. Um, mm, I lost my train of thought. Shit. Discord. What was I talking about? Discord. What was I saying? Like Discord. Like I'm being dead serious. Like I read a comment. Like it just threw me off. Cause like price discovery. Wait. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, DJ. Thank you. Price discovery. Yes. So the next lesson about this is called price discovery. We are up here in price discovery. There are no levels to go off of. That's what I was saying. Anybody else telling you that they know exactly where the market's getting ready to go, anybody telling you that they know exactly what's going on, anybody telling you that hey, my fib says the market has to go here, or hey, the EMA is crossing, so the market has to go up another 1%. They don't know what they're talking about. We need to block those people. Those people don't deserve a voice. The market is in price discovery. Nobody knows. Who would have had the market squeezing up at 2.5% yesterday and closing at the HOD after we just squeezed like 1% previously or like the other day? Like, who? So, with that being said, it's price discovery. You need to not guess. You need to wait for the market to finish squeezing and then pull back. And then based off of what they've engineered before, like over here, like into the zone, like for example, this was engineered before. I sent you out a message and I told you that we were going to go into all time high and it was going to squeeze higher and that this was bullish and you need to not Discord. I told you this. So you'd have been looking at maybe longing it over here on like a knife pullback or something like this whenever we swept something like this. Like, for example, this is a perfect example. Whenever we sweep like an internal like this and then we gain strength, you need to like long it here and you need to be targeting like here or here and you need to be out. That is how you navigate all time high. That is how you trade all time high. You don't trade all time high by buying it literally here inside the zone. You don't do that. You don't trade all time high by buying it here inside the zone up here at the top. You wait for a pullback and then you wait for support after it sweeps an internal that we had engineered going up before. And then when that happens, off of whatever model that you back tested, whatever strategy that you feel the most confident in, preferably in balances, is going to be the best way to navigate this. Then you long it, and then you're out based off of what happened to the left before, and you start scaling out. That is how you trade all time high right now. That is the safest and most efficient way to trade all time high. The hardest way to trade all time high right now is to fucking short this. You are going to get blown up. Don't do that. Why? Because random liquidation squeezes can happen at any given moment. And if you buy the top, then random liquidation dumps can happen, and then you'll get scared because your brain's going to be conjumbled, and you're going to be trying to figure out, oh my goodness, I just bought the top of a 2.5% move. Man, they about to dump this on me 0.5% and blow up my account. Then you stop out, and then they find some base and they squeeze it and go sideways, and they do another all-time high because you wasn't willing to wait for a pullback. Alrighty. So that's the next. So that's the second lesson as far as that's concerned. What key external liquidity do you target? The last high. DJ Russ says you can target the last high. You can target the liquidity that was engineered before on said pullback. So like for example, here. So like for example, here, like let's just say like do not get caught up in the time zones here. But let's just use this right over here, for example, here. Like if you see us squeeze up in here, like you don't long as this is going up. You wait for us to pull back and you wait for us to sweep like here or here, something local. Okay. And then as we're tapping into a perfect example, a 15-minute BISI and a cluster of some sort, and you see it reacting, you can then, if you have confidence and you got something you want to manage your risk off of one of these imbalances, guys, I'm just using this as an example, and you want to manage yourself of one of these imbalances because we had just swept the local internal, then you start building a long position here whenever we're reacting positively, and then you start scaling out and you're out like here. And then your final target should be here, out here fully. Why so? Because this is the high and there's nothing here. Or whenever we pop this, you should be out 90%, and then you should just let the rest run and then start trailing the runners, like the 15 to 20% of the runners that you have. No more than 20%. No more than 20%. Preferably about 10% of your prior position. So if you was in 10 micros, you need to only be in like one, at no more than 2 micros, and just letting the rest ride into oblivion. That's how you trade all time high here. Because it's all time high, it's price discovery. More than likely it's going to squeeze out here higher. However, this is another perfect example right here. Like even if you long this here, if you took off 50 to 60% of your position here and then you went break even, they came back and they stopped you out here, and then they went out, and then they still went to another all-time high again. So you need to still be taking base hits because you don't know if this was going to be the high and if they was going to dump this or not. Because it is all-time high. You do know that, right? So they could just dump this here into oblivion. So you need to not be married to any one idea, but you damn sure don't need to be married to shorts. Shorts are short-lived. At all-time high, the shorts are going to come in a knifey kind of fashion. All-time high, like it's either you're right on the shorts or or perfectly timing it, or else you're cooked. Like because the shorts are going to be so confusing and they're going to be hard to time. The reason why shorting at all-time high is extremely tough is because we're so deep in positive HVL that they'll knife it like this down over here in a straight line and then blow your account. Or what they'll do is that they'll do something like this, and like they'll slowly bleed it out like this the entire time, and then they'll add like a liquidation dump over here at the end. So so like you won't know like when the real short is getting ready to hit. So it's best for you to wait for like a liquidation break lower at all time high, and then for you to wait for something to be swept prior, and then you start building into longs. Because the long is probably going to save you. There's going to be a lot more grace on the long. There's going to be a lot more grace on the long than you randomly trying to perfectly time a short because you're trying to figure out when the market's going to randomly start dumping. That's going to be less fruitful. And then also another reason why it's a lot less fruitful up here trying to short all-time high is because at all-time high we're going to be so far in positive HVL that it'll do this in both directions. So like they'll start squeezing up like this, and then they'll do some weird shit like this, and they'll just squeeze it higher here higher. So like if you were shorting this because we popped this liquidity over here and you thought we was getting ready to go lower, like they'll bleed it out like this, and then they'll flash it like this, and they'll squeeze it like this. This right over here was non-farm payrolls release, but still though, you know, like this isn't anything insane for all-time high. Okay, so that's the navigation portion as far as my recommendations in regards to how we trade all-time high. Friday was absolutely insanely hard to trade if you was like man, just look at this price action. It was ridiculous. Thank God I was not on stream on Friday. I don't know how I got out of this short up here at this top at 10 o'clock. I got lucky. I shorted it here and I targeted this internal. They squeezed it in a straight line nonstop. It's so hard to short all-time highs, but I like this 15-minute time frame. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I agree. Does anybody have any questions? Something feels off about this. This does not look the same. The image quality doesn't look the same. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Look, you see what I'm saying? Look at this. Look. This right here is exactly why like you don't buy the top at the all-time high. Because if you buy this, guys, this is a perfect live example. Because if you lose nothing long here, guys, they're not going to hold your hand whenever the market starts dumping. You're not going to know. It's best that when they dump it, then you start looking for reasons on as to why you should long it. Like all-time high is going to test your patience and your resolve. But like if you was just, but if you entered into a short here, you would have been stopped out over here because you had no idea how much higher they were going to go. Like, do you understand this price discovery shit? They could have took it to 29,500 damn near if they wanted to. You have absolutely no idea when these people are going to stop this charade here. You don't know. Why did it drop like that? Because it's at all time high. It's price discovery. The market is trying to discover price itself. The market is trying to discover price. So when it's trying to discover price, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it can stop at any random zone and just and literally just fall off a cliff. Look at this. They dumped this market 500 ticks during Asia session in a straight line for for no reason. This is why trading all time high is extremely dangerous. It's it's dangerous because you don't know how long to even hold on to this long. So even if you were correct and you longed it here, if you didn't TP out over here whenever we broke this high right over here, which is a perfect example that I was talking about, like you need to wait for a dump or a pullback, and you need to be targeting what was previously engineered here. So like you need to be out. Perfect example. Whenever we're popping previous highs, and you need to be trailing it. This is a perfect example. So like if you're not doing this, then they will randomly stop it and they will randomly dump it against you and blow your account because you don't know when it's getting ready to stop. So you need to be out whenever we target previous draws and liquidity that we had just engineered prior to said pullback. That's what you need to be doing. And you have no idea how much lower this is getting ready to go either at all time high. Because why not dump it down into this zone and then run this LR over here? Like, you see what I'm saying? So like you don't know. So you have no idea whenever the floor is getting ready to keep falling from under you. Like this over here on Thursday. Look at this. Look at this shit over here. So like you might long this over here and go, well, we're basing, so we getting ready to squeeze it and retake out this high. But this was a news event. I alerted everybody to this prior. So something broke with Iran. You know, the the news release with Iran saying that they rejected Trump's offer over here on Thursday. That's what this was. And then like they'll dump it 1% and a 1% straight down here, but realistically speaking, they'll go from here to here in a straight line. Your account cannot withstand 1,100 ticks to the downside. Your account, no account can withstand that. No account can withstand that. You will get roasted. So you'll long this over here thinking that we getting ready to bounce, and then they'll just keep bleeding it out nonstop indefinitely here, like past the zone. So this is why all-time high is extremely dangerous to trade, and why whenever you make that money, you need to just walk away from that damn screen. That's what you need to be doing. There's no reason on that's why you need to be married to any positions, and you need to begin to remove your risk. Let me see if Discord has any questions. Discord, does anybody have any questions? I need to order another capture device because I don't like the quality of this one. Discord, does anybody have any questions about anything? So we just shouldn't trade, is what I'm hearing. That price discovery market is evil. They could dump it 2% up or down in any given second. No, not 2% up or down, but just enough for you to blow your account 100% for sure. Like, in order to stop you out and in order to frustrate you, yes. The danger doesn't come from the guys. The market's not just going to randomly just start dumping 2%. Guys, it's at all time high, but it can dump for 5 to 7 minutes, just enough to stop you out and then blow your account, or to stop you out and then it'll reverse and then it'll go higher. Guys, we're in price discovery. You know the market's getting ready to go higher. Guys, we're in price discovery. The issue is not, guys. The issue here at hand is not that you don't know it's getting ready to go higher. The market's trying to discover a higher price. It's clearly going to go higher. But if you long it and they knife it on you, then guess what happens? You don't get to participate on the upside. That's the dangerous part. Guys, the market, hold on, let me add this as well. Guys, the market doesn't have to dump enough. Guys, the market doesn't have to dump 2%. The market just has to dump just enough to go against you, not even to blow your account even. The market just has to go against you enough in order to stop you out if you have solid risk management. Because the market don't even got to dump 0.5%. The market just got to dump like 150, 200 ticks. That's it. That ain't nothing but one or two candles, for one or two decent candles for real, in order to stop you out, in order to blow up your account. So 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 at all time high, that can happen at any second. It does not have to reverse and go to hell in order for you to realize that you're wrong. It just has to go against your position enough in order to scare you out. That's the danger of the all time high. Understand that, please. Mm. Man, it's just so weird. I was going to go lower, but sure, I'll take it. Take a quick 500. Yeah, dangerous. Mm. How high you think you're gonna go? 30K by Friday? I have absolutely no idea. Uh, one thing, one thing that I am almost certain about is that we're going to eclipse this high here somehow, somewhere during New York session. I do know that. How you think Monday going to be? I think that we're getting ready to squeeze Monday, and I think we're getting ready to go higher on Monday. That's what I think in my brain. The reason why I think that is because I don't care what they do during Asia or London. I don't care what they got going on. Look at this daily candle close over here on this QQQ. Look what happened on this QQQ. Look at this candle. Look, we closed at 7/11/23 on the, like, literally, look at this. We closed at 7/11/23, and the HOD over here was 7/11/23. This market was so bullish on Friday. Look at this weekly close. Look at that weekly candle right there. What in the hell makes anybody think that this market's just going to seriously just fall off a cliff? If they pull this shit back on Monday, so help me God, they're going to liquidation squeeze this shit on Tuesday. The most bearish thing that they can do is actually go higher into 715 ish. The most bearish thing that they can do is go higher on Monday. If they pull this back and we open up somewhere into like 710, 709 ish on Monday during New York session, and we just go sideways, I then know for a fact that they're going to use CPI on Tuesday, and then we're going to go 715, even 720. I'm just I'm just being 100% for real with you. I know that for a fact. That's what's going to happen. So it's called precipitation. It's guys, just look at every weekly close here. Look, every bullish weekly close like this, it precipitated higher. Look at this. This is the most bullish weekly close that we've had in the last 6 weeks. Why wouldn't this? What? Why wouldn't on Monday or Tuesday should we come into 720, 725? Like, why would we not do that? What? Why? Why would we not do some shit like that? I'm being dead serious. Why would we not do that? So look at that. Look at that daily and that weekly candle. Look at that. This thing broke loose. This is going to the moon. There's nothing to stop this. If you ask me, have I ever seen a nosebleeding rally like this? I have not. The only time I've seen this was when they were handing out free money during COVID. That was ridiculous, but the market has sold off. A nosebleeding rally like the man, this is a full blown bull market. You think we're going for 30K? Man, where's 30K at? If they come out with a peace deal this week, we're going to go to 30K this week. If CPI comes in cool, and if Iran says, "Hey, hey, we're dismantling our nuclear program," because that can happen on Monday or Tuesday or even Wednesday even. If they say anything like that, and this market is hanging around this 29,000, we are going to go 30,000 that day, and it's not going to stop at 30,000. It's going to go into like 30,100 before it even remotely considers pulling back. There's nothing that's going to stop this. So that's what I'm anticipating a legitimate blow off the top. That's what I'm seriously anticipating. However, if Iran says, "Hold on, who the hell are y'all? Screw y'all," and then like they do some weird shit, like like they actually put damage one of those carriers, like the Abraham Lincoln or something like that, like one of those U.S. Navy carriers or something like the Abraham Lincoln, then I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Then we're gonna be down 1.5%. But then the moment that but then the moment that Trump says something positive, we're gonna squeeze 2%. So it's not gonna do nothing. That's all that's been happening. Like y'all do know that, right? Like Iran came out over here on Thursday and said, "Hold on, screw that. We're rejecting Trump's offer." And then the market dumped almost 1.5%, and we never went higher that day. And then Trump said the deal is still on, and then the market did this, and then it looked for an excuse on non-farm payrolls, and we just squeezed higher into oblivion here. Alrighty, let's see what else we got. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody else have any questions? What we got, Discord? I think yeah, maybe a strong reject. Wait for a Bissett to form. Been on that one before. Yeah. Hmm. Like look at this LRLR that they're engineering here. After they ran it and they're tapping into this 15-minute Bissett here. Like look at this. Ridiculous. So there's that. Be on alert. That's what we need to be. Okay, what else do I think that we should be looking? Guys, those are the things that I need to, guys, those are the things that I think that we need to be looking for up here at the all time. Does anybody have any questions? All right, guys, I want to turn this over to questions more so because I really don't, because I really didn't come prepared today in order to really sit here in order to break down like a lot of groundbreaking things. So this one right over here is more so definitely a freestyle. Anybody have any questions that they want to that they want answered? Anything that they're thinking going into Monday, Tuesday, or this upcoming week? Does anybody have any questions about Eval Instant passes again on Tuesday? I will be participating again on the Tuesday where guys, because I can get an unlimited amount of funded accounts. So I will be doing Eval Instant Pass again on Tuesday. Does anybody have any questions about anything? If you're inside Discord, I can't tell you. Yeah. If you're not inside Discord, then I can't let you. I mean, like, I'm not going to walk you through how to get an unlimited amount of funded accounts. I'm not going to do that. What does Eval Instant Pass mean? You got to go to that section. Yeah, you're able to get an unlimited amount of accounts. Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah. Listen to what Alan is saying, DJ. Yeah, go to the yep. Click on the Eval Instant Pass section. Ain't your bad. What you talking about? You good, bro? You asking a question. That's why this community is here, guys. Guys, that's why the community is here. So, guys, the community is here in order for you to ask questions so that you can improve and get caught up to speed. That's what you're paying $40 per month for. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, all this aside. And then obviously the mentorships and the ability in order to have questions answered and in order to make your road to profitability as smooth as possible. That's what you're paying for. That's the entire purpose of school, just so that we're all aware. You do know that, right? So yeah, ain't ain't no apologies. You asked a question, and the family wanted to help you out. Great job. All good. We got you. Yeah. We all got you. We got you, DJ. Lovely dump. They're getting fed up of all time high. Nah, they ain't getting fed up. This right over here was just to stop everybody out and to not allow you to participate in the real move that's getting ready to come higher. If you guys, I don't care what they do during this, guys, if they pull this shit back, guys, I'm gonna be looking for every single excuse to long it. I'm being dead serious. Guys, it's the same thing that I told you over here on Friday. Do y'all remember this on Friday when they pulled this shit back? And I was on live stream, and there was a dude in here that was on TikTok, and he was like, "Man, I'm getting ready to put a limit order here at 8.99," and this was at 9. He said this at 9:25, and believe it or not, I actually went live early because I normally don't go live till 10, but I did eval instant pass prior that day, so I was live early. So he got a small snippet of what Discord gets at 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, which is you're getting access to my thought patterns and in regards to what I'm thinking the market's getting ready to do coming into this morning session. And he got a small snippet of that and he canceled that order and he was like, fuck no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm along this shit. And he was like, man, yeah, man, thanks. And it was his pullback, and he was like, "Man, shorts entry at 8.99, bear flag." And I was like, "Don't do that shit. They're getting ready to liquidation squeeze this. This move right over here was fake. This was just to take out the data wick low on the NQ right over here, the NQ. There was a data wick low that they just wanted to take out over here. Where was it at? Right over here. They just wanted it to, and I shorted it over here to then take out this data wick low, and they just wanted to take out this data wick low, and then when the market opened, it never went lower. I told him I was like, they getting ready to. I told him I was like, they're getting ready to give you one red dump candle like 9:31, 9:32, and then they're going to reverse it. Well, they didn't even give the dump red candle. They just stopped on the diamond and just squeezed it into oblivion. This was recorded, so he got a small snippet of that. So what I'm saying is like, bro, man, these pullbacks and shit like this, man, this is fake. They're trying to go higher. So whatever they do during this Asia or this London session, I don't believe that shit. I think they're getting ready to squeeze and go higher. The only danger that I see is that when something breaks, they're gonna run all of this over here in full. They're gonna run this in full, and it's just not gonna stop until this shit comes in like 29,000. This LRLR is a problem. When they decide to run this, I have no idea. But I'm not gonna get in front of this moving train whenever that happens. I'm trying to tell you. But don't expect this to come. But don't expect this shit to be sweet. It's just like how I told you. Whenever we knife into these zones, you need to be looking at imbalances over here, like 15-minute imbalances, and you need to be long in this shit, and you need to be going break even, and you just be letting this shit ride. That's how you trade up here inside the zone. Does anybody have any questions? Because I could see it faking hitting low external. Based on the current market, would you trust the lower BISI as support? I really don't trade Asia like that, so I'm unsure of how serious it is. But however, on serious knives and serious, I will say this just in general terms, on serious knives and sweeps of 1, 2, 3 zones of liquidity, shit, even 4, hell. If we tap it into imbalances and like the moment that the market finds some serious support and creates a BISI of some sort, or the moment it starts to react, I'm going to be looking for reasons to my left in order to try and long it so that I can try and take base hits. And I want to be scaling out. I want to be scaling out into the internals that were created on the way down and into imbalances above head. That's what I want to be doing. Honestly speaking, I'm gonna be for real with you. I would not start building an entry position on a straight liquidation knife down on the first bounce. I'm I'm personally not going to trust the first bounce. Why? Because I want them to do something like this, bounce it, come up, and then come lower like this, and then I'll long and I'll take my chances here so that I can have a target up here above head to start scaling out of. That's what I would be doing personally, if that makes sense. Like, like you don't just catch a falling knife because you don't know how much further it's going to fall. You need to wait for the knife to hit the ground. Guys, how you navigate a knife is like you wait for it to hit the ground, bounce, come up, and then do something like this. And then you long it with confirmation of something, and you start targeting here, here. And then you start scaling out like that. You don't just you don't just see this, and then the moment it stops like this here, you buy here. Because you don't know how much higher it's getting ready to go up into this zone because they gotta pull it back. So you don't know how serious that next pullback is going to be. You have no idea. I'm being dead serious. Like you literally have no idea. You need to wait for market structure to form, and then you trade the market structure. Anybody else telling you differently, you need to get a new mentor. You need to wait for market structure to form. That's why all time high is dangerous. Because if you long it up here, you're going to get roasted. If you short it here, then it's going to squeeze it higher into oblivion. If you long it here, then they're going to knife it on you like this, and you're going to be scared as fuck, and you're going to blow your account. All-time high is not as sweet as you think it is. The all-time high is only sweet if you're participating in the long term, which is my goal for everybody here. My goal is to help you make like my goal is to hopefully listen. I'm gonna be honest. I got some students inside to make $30,000, $40,000 a day. A day. Some guys, some of y'all not gonna get to that. But hell, if I can get y'all to making $2,000 or $3,000 a day, even, and you can stack some, and you can stack even hell, even $1,500, $2,000 days together for like 5, 6 months, and you can put $50,000, $60,000 inside of a Charles Schwab, and you can participate on this, and you can make $5,000 to $8,000 a month while you day trading. Now you're successful, so that it can help you along the, so they can help you whenever we face conditions like this. That's the goal. That's what you're working towards. You're not working towards to becoming a day trader every day. You don't want to do that. I agree. That's exactly what I need to hear 100% because I don't want to base my confluence off 1 minute bitches. Don't do that. You need to wait for like a knife to happen and then for them to do some shit like this. And then once it bases, then you long it here and you need to be targeting here and here, for example. I'm just making this up. So like, for example, here, I probably would have tried to take my chances on a long here, and I would have been trying to target this. And then like I would have gone break even. Like now since this market is bouncing and we have an immediate shift in market structure again, hell, if you think we get ready to go longer, then you need to long it and you need to manage your risk to set busy here, and you need to be scaling out as we're tagging into these imbalances up here above head. If you still so happy to think that we get ready to go higher, if that's what you think, that's what you need to be. This is what you need to be doing. This market is basing here. So if we inverse this, then guess what? We're going to go lower. You know for a fact now, if we get a 1 minute candle close below the zone, this market's going to go lower. 100%. So why not long it over here on this red candle pullback and then start targeting these imbalances up here above head? I mean, to me, like that. To me, that's just common sense. And you need to be scaling out as we're tagging into these consequent encroachments or these imbalances or into these imbalances up here inside the zone. You need to be scaling out. Why? Because you're longing into a 15-minute SIBI. So we could very well do some shit like this. And then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, then they start doing some shit like this and start heating this market up again at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they start squeezing it. Make no mistake about it, this market's gonna go higher during New York session. Make no mistake about this. But they don't have to take it higher right now. They could just blow your account right now. Or put you to sleep and then make you get tired of holding on to this position and then keep you up all night until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, scared looking at your phone. I see. Break even needs to move with it. To protect your risk, 100%. Exactly. Because it's the same as the thing that happened here. So like if you longed it over here, whenever we tell them to this 15-minute bissy here, for example, like if you long this here and like you did not scale out here, I'm sorry, poor line. If you did not scale out here at this high, and if you didn't take out, here at this high when we pop this, and here whenever we pop this, if you didn't go break even and you longed it here, hell, you lost. 100%, 100% you lost. Zero debate. You want to know why? Because I know for a fact you're not holding on to no trade down, down 260 ticks. I know for a fact that you're not doing that. I know that they would have scared you out when you down 260, 300 ticks, especially after you was probably just up almost 400 ticks. I know for a fact you didn't do that. You see how they're squeezing up here higher again? This right over here was the shakeout, is exactly what I was telling you. So you need to be scaling out as they're pushing up into the zone. This is how you trade all time high, man. If anybody else telling you anything differently, block them. Get rid of them. You, you need to be trading all time high as in, okay, well, they're showing me this. So if I long this here and if they do this, then I'm wrong. But I'll take my chances on this because they did give me a pullback and I'm long on this shit going higher. That's what we need to be doing, okay? Does anybody have any questions? Anybody else got any questions? Ain't been here in a minute. Good to see you, my brother. You too, thank you, Timmy. Is CPI on gold today? No, CPI on gold. No, CPI is on Tuesday. Uncle, how you been? I'm back from my hiatus. What's up, Romo? I'm hanging in there, brother. How you living? Yo, yeah, I don't think it's a good day to trade tomorrow. CPI on Tuesday. I don't think it's a good day to trade on Tuesday. I don't think trading all time high is good just in general. It's just gonna be hard in general. So I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I told all the students, shh, if you just want to take like a month break, and then just go out and just enjoy your life, man, do so. This is crazy. Anybody else got any questions? Does anybody have any questions? So, like for example, right now on the 5 minute, we're getting higher highs. I'm waiting on some breaker structure, change the character to the downside. Then wait for some liquidity sweep to show me we're creating a new structure and jump in where you see your chance. No, that's all that you can do. You need to wait for liquidity to be engineered all the time high, and then you trade that said liquidity. Had to, man. Was blowing funders back to back. Mental was gone. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, nah, yeah, nah, bro. The last month has been insanely hard to trade. The market's just been squeezing higher and higher without making any sense, and it's not going to be any easier now. But however, you will have a fresh mindset. But you need to adjust though. We all need to make adjustments. Anybody else have any questions? Just making sure I'm on the same page. Yeah, DJ. Anybody else have any questions? Mm, mm. Who has some questions? I was watching smiling like I know I would have kept trying to short. Exactly. Exactly. It's dangerous, bro. Overall, are we still bullish? Overall, sir, this is the most bullish that we've arguably ever been. This is a full blown bull market, break loose, liquidation squeeze. The market is going to the moon right now, and there's a brown skinned alien in the fucking picnic basket. Like this shit is going crazy. Like this shit is taking off, bro. Bullish. Shit. This shit is looking like ET. This shit is on some alien shit. Abducted. This is crazy. Like you can this is extraterrestrial. This is ridiculous, bro. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I'm not gonna lie. Especially during geopolitical war tension news. Who would have had this market squeezing like this in the middle of a war? Well, war is bullish, so there's that. Most people don't realize that. War is bullish. Why? Because they can print an unlimited amount of money. Why would they turn off the printers during war? War is an excellent generator of funds. Assets squeezed during wartime. Does anybody have any questions? You need to be looking out for scaling the long entries. That's what you need to be doing. On serious knife pullbacks, they need to be gifts. They're gifts. For longs and to take base hits. They're gifts. That's what you need to be doing. Anybody have any questions here? No? Okay. Guys, it's Mother's Day, so I don't want to be goofing around here till 10:30, 11 o'clock. My mother's in here, but I still want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. Alrighty. I'll still post this class to the Discord, but that's it. Guys, I live trade every single day. I'll be live streaming tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for TikTok, 9, 10 a.m. in the morning from inside Discord to go over the pre-market trading plan. I think that if they pull this market back, hold on, let me go over the pre-market trading plan first before I do anything else. Before I disconnect, I want to go over this pre-market trading plan. No problem. I want to go over this pre-market trading plan. This is what I think. I want to go over this plan because this is what I'm thinking. Guys, the deal with Iran is on the horizon. This is smelling like a buy the rumor. Then when the deal is announced, it will squeeze, but only after the dust settles. Then intraday sell side will happen. That's what I personally believe will happen. Married to shorts prior is and has proven to be dangerous. Market is in full-blown price discovery, so there are 0 levels for me to send out. I will add that the QQQ closed at the exact HOD of the EOD end of day. I have not seen a bullish close like this in a while. 95% chance that the bearishness gets swallowed up and the market pushes higher into New York session if Asia or London show any signs of remote weakness. That weekly and daily candle close on QQ is diabolically bullish. If you want to trade all-time high, your only options are to wait for liquidity to be engineered and target internals, preferably longs on pullbacks with multiple levels of confirmation, which is exactly what we went over today in today's class. Okay? So that's what I'm thinking for tomorrow. CPI is on Tuesday. You don't need to be trading CPI. On a Tuesday at all-time high, that's dangerous. Don't do that. You'll blow up the account. Don't do that. Trust me, it's just best to wait. Don't goof around. All right. Anybody have any questions? I'm surprised if they squeeze us on Tuesday too. Guys, I believe in you. Win, lose, or draw. I always say it. I believe in you, and I know for a fact that you can do this. We all just need to invest in ourselves, and we all just need some guidance. So, guys, with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for live trading until hopefully maybe 4 o'clock or so. I don't know, depending upon whenever the conditions dissipate or whenever I feel as though it's just not advantageous for us to be on live stream. But we'll be there tomorrow, bright and early, as we are every single day. All right, guys, I love every single last one of you, and I believe in you. And I know that life may not be easy, but we got to keep pushing. And I promise you, we're going to get through this. But this is the way to where if you have a lot of disadvantages, a lot of setbacks, how much time learning did it take you to be profitable? Um, different. Hold on. I'm gonna say this first, and I'm gonna answer your question, Hunter. Um, guys, I know life is hard, and I know that we may be going through our own struggles, but guys, this is the way in regards to what I've personally seen, like how you can even the playing fields and how even the playing field by even the playing field, I'm just trying to say the right words. You guys, you can even the playing field by saving yourself a lot of time, by 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 eclipsing a lot of prior mistakes that you've made in life, whatever that means. Guys, like prior mistakes, like as far as like you not going to college or you not going to school, you not having a degree from Harvard or you being a felon or you doing X, Y, and Z, or you getting upset with your boss and now you got to work some job that you don't like, or, because of the current policies, you ended up getting laid off. Like this is the way in regards to how I've noticed like you can even the playing fields and you can get right back. And you can create a life for yourself seriously that like most people could never even dream of. Like this market doesn't care about skin color, no none of that. This is the ultimate equalizer. So I know it's hard, but I promise you, if you're willing to invest in yourself and once you figure this out, so help me God, this shit gonna be so smooth. And life, man, life's never gonna be the same again. So with that being said, guys, to answer Hunter's question, there's different there's different there's different levels in regards to the profitability. So I started out in crypto. I started out being a Bitcoin runner before Coinbase was a thing for real. That was like 13, 14 years ago. So where like I was buying no, that was not that long ago. I was buying no, that was in like 2017. No, I lied. That was way before 2017 because I was in college. That was 20 that was 2013. 2012, I was buying Bitcoin at like $700 a coin. Believe it or not, like I actually have the transactions and the screenshots on my phone. So in 2012, 2012 I was a Bitcoin runner. I apologize, I got the years mixed up. In 2012, I was a Bitcoin runner, and I started getting into trading whenever Coinbase started going public. And started getting a platform. And so like it took me a while to become profitable with crypto, but it was just a wild, wild west with crypto, and then like I was playing ball and stuff like that. It was just a headache. Then I started doing stocks, and I started to, and then but investing in stocks, it took me like 2 or 3 years at a minimum in order for me to find profitability with that. But then, like I came across futures, and it took me about a year and a half of my prior understanding in order for me to become really, really profitable with futures. But I'm not gonna lie, it took me about like a year and a half. But that's because like I didn't have no mentor, but I also had prior insane knowledge. So most people, like if you like most people, like most people would never become profitable doing this, like ever. I'm being trading or just in general, like the day trading, like they won't. That's why 90% of people fail doing this. But 90% of people fail because they don't because there's this weird stigma going around that nobody wants to have an instructor. Like the reason why 90% of people are crashing their cars is because they don't even know what a gas pedal is and they've never taken a driving test. So they get behind the wheel of a car and they think that they can become a NASCAR driver and they hop on the highway and they've never driven before and they don't know what's going on. That's why you're highly prone to get into an accident. If you took the time to hire an instructor and if you just had a little bit of money to like, if you had a little bit of money to invest in a proper mentor. And guys, I'm not saying that. Hey, I'm trying to price gouge you for no $40. I don't give a shit about that because that's how much Discord costs here. But guys, but like what I'm saying is, just, guys, just the time in general to seek out a mentor so that it's beneficial on both sides. Because we need to stop thinking that multimillionaires are going to sit here and then instruct you, and then you become a multimillionaire, and like they get nothing out of it. That doesn't make any sense. Nowhere in hell do people do that. Like that makes zero sense. And then like the poor person mentality is oh well, if the person doesn't want to help you become a millionaire and like if they don't want to do it for free, then they're not really making no money for real. Who the hell came up with that idea? That is the biggest load of malarkey I have ever heard in my life. Would you work for fucking free? Would you do that shit? No, the fuck you would not. So why the hell would a multi-millionaire do it for free? With with no promise of nothing in return. Because you do know that millionaires value their time more than normal poor people, right? So trust me, you become a millionaire, and trust me, you become a millionaire, and I promise you, you're not going to do shit for free. So in any event, that's that. So that's the reason why most people crash their cars. So if you invest a little bit of time and effort in regards to understanding how someone runs a successful business, the ins and outs, and that person is fully transparent with you, so that you can pick and choose the things that they're doing right and the things that they're doing wrong, so that you can sort of kind of understand, okay, well, this is how they drive, this is how I can improve and stuff like that. If you do those things and you can piggyback off of them, You know, the world is your oyster. So in any event, I gotta log up this live stream. So guys, I'll be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love y'all and I believe in y'all. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for live trading. Bye bye. I gotta end this live stream. I got easy. I go. Hell no, you're a dog. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. No problem, LT. Thank you, E, for everything. See you tomorrow morning. All right, Alan. Catch you later, guys. Thank y'all. I'm gonna disconnect.